Oh, there's me messing things up. There's me going, oh yes, I'll get it all right tonight. And I don't, because I never do. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, another week you have to put up with me. And so on and so forth. What have we got tonight? We've got a bit of a mixture of things. I've got a couple of news stories. I've got a mod to look at. I might have some VC. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a waffly one, but it always is, isn't it? So, without any further ado, let's play the titles.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Here we go. Righto. So that was the titles. I do have another set, like I said last week, but I haven't actually finished them off yet. So, but you know, I quite like those ones, so I might stick with them for a bit anyway. Right. You know what? I think I might play this in first. Simply because I was supposed to play it before Christmas, my show before Christmas, and I never did. You guys may well have seen this already, but this is Andy Sutton and his Nicotino. It's worth watching again because it's a bit of fun. So I'm just going to play this while I sort a few things out, and I'll see you in a second.
Hello everybody, I'm Andy, I'm Smoke to Vape. I watched Vapor Trails last week and I saw Davey, Malik and Andy trying this stuff, which is called Nicotino. This lovely little thing came in the post. And I saw Davey Malik trying them and he didn't react very well to them. So me being me, I thought, well, let's give it a go. Now, the first surprise came when I saw this. It says lemon mint. Lemon mint. It's not cappuccino at all. It's got nicotine in it, yes. So I thought I'd give it a go. So I'm opening up the pack here, and there's one of them. So I suppose you just rip that open, and then inside there's going to be something here. Now it's for oral use only. Phew. I suppose some. We won't go there. For smokers over 18 years only. Keep out of the reach of children. Yes. Contains nicotine and limonene. Limonene. Read safety information on package carefully. Safety. Important information. Nicotine is an addictive substance, harmful in contact with skin. It's got a raised safety warning on it, which is good. And I'll just quickly avoid smokers not to be sold to anyone under the age of 18. Good. Well, they're being very, 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 very responsible, so that's good. I think in here. Hello. Oh. Hi. Some sort of sticky. Oh, here he is. There he is. I think that's him. Wow. Oh, it's got pictures. Okay. Place under your lip. Top lip, it's suggesting there. Look, top lip. Just place the nicotine film under your lip and onto your gum where it will sit securely and discreetly and let it dissolve. Each film contains 1 milligram of nicotine. That's my kind of movie. Each film contains 1 milligram of nicotine, which is equivalent to one normal strength cigarette. It will dissolve in 8 to 10 minutes. Wow, it's teeny. Look at it. Look. Okay, here we go. Ooh, weird. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. Right. Lemon mint. Not getting anything yet. Oh, I'm getting slight tingling now. Right, the tingle has now turned into sort of a searing pain. They likened it on the website to chili, and just having it under my top lip makes it slightly tricky to talk. I really want to lick my teeth. Do I want to vape? I haven't vaped for a little while. It's making my mouth water quite a bit. Okay, it's really hurting. Ooh. God, it's really hurting. It's now just fused to my top gum, my top lip, and my gum. And it's making me dribble quite a lot as well. Compared to snus, I would say that this is more painful. There's less flavour. Snus, you open the packet and they're there, and you pop them in. This, you've got to open what looks like a prophylactic wrapper, which when you rip the top off, there's still more sticky to get through, so you have to rip it open. The packet smells like chocolate. It's very strange. It's not hurting quite as much now, but I've got sort of cotton mouth. Blah. So, I think that's probably enough of that. They say on the packet it's very discreet. It is discreet. As I say, there's no smoke and no vapour. Vapour production is rubbish. But discretion would suggest that you won't notice a person using it. I would say differently, because you will be able to spot somebody using this, because if they're talking to you, they're talking like that. It feels like the whole mouth is stuck to your teeth. Nicotine hit. Do I feel like I need a vape? I feel like I need a drink. So, because my mouth is very dry. Would it replace electronic cigarettes for me? I would say no, because anything that makes me do this, I'm probably not going to want to use in public. Could I control that urge to do that? Well, you could, but it hurts. And really, honestly, my whole mouth is just a big gummy mess now. It started off really hurting, then it sort of really hurt, and now it's gradually not hurting as much. So, in summary, e-cigs are brilliant. Nicotino, not for me. That is a very interesting experience. Blah. So thank you very much, Davey and Andy, for propelling me on this journey of discovery. If you want any more, I have a pack that will be probably sitting on my desk for a long time. Right, I'm going to go and sit down, have a coffee to get rid of this awful taste in my mouth, enjoy my e-cig, and I shall see you later.
And that was Andy there with the Nicotino. You'll see a bit more of him later on in the show as well. I did see a comment scrolling up in chat actually that I forget where it was now. That they got a packet of Nicotino in a dripper box, as did I actually. Just after Christmas it was. I come back from visiting the relatives down in the southeast, and sitting on my doorstep was one of those tubes, you know, dripper box tubes that you get. And so I opened it up and I got it in, and there was a Nicotino, so I thought I'll give one a go. I think my view on it is a bit different to everyone else's, but I might do that next week actually if anyone's interested. I've only used one of them. I think you get 5 in a packet or something like that. And someone else did say as well, again, I forget who it was, so apologies for that, but if you think that burns, you should try snus. I have tried snus, and I don't think it burns nearly as much as Nicotino does. But there we go. Maybe it's the one I used. I can't remember. It's quite nice though, to be fair. I didn't mind it. So, yeah. So, any confusion there? I did see, again in chat, someone was a bit confused, thinking, who's this? Why have we got Andy Sutton? As opposed to me. That's because I played a bit early, because I forgot I needed to sort a couple of bits out for the show later on, because I was busy yakking to Dave Dawn, except no one else could hear me, and everyone thinks I'm a bit crackers. There we go. Let's go to my first actual item then, shall we? And some of you may have seen this. It was posted up on the Vapor Trials TV Facebook page the other day. It is the MOVE campaign. Let me just bring it up onto screen. There we go. It's the medical organisations supporting vaping and electronic cigarettes. It's a call from doctors, healthcare professionals and scientists in support of electronic cigarettes. Yeah? Okay. As physicians and health professionals, we see everyday patients who are severely affected by tobacco smoking, many of whom will eventually die or have their health severely affected despite our help and advice. Tobacco smoking remains the most serious public health issue in the world. Yeah, okay, we can possibly agree with that. People smoke for the nicotine but die from the chemicals produced when tobacco is burned. Unfortunately, currently available smoking cessation medicines have limited efficacy. There's that lovely word again. You know, I've never really heard of that word until I started vaping. And acceptability for the majority of smokers. However, we believe that there is a solution. The use of electronic cigarettes clearly has huge potential to help many smokers turn their backs on tobacco. Well, it has me. So I just realised you can't actually see that part, so there we are. That's where we are. To this end, we strongly believe that ethically and scientifically speaking, it is our responsibility to draw attention to the following. It is the combustion of tobacco and the 4,000 chemical substances that are produced when smoking cigarettes are harmful to health of smokers, not the nicotine. And, yeah, and it goes on. I'm not going to read it all out because... and the thought just occurred, I did not ask Sav very kindly to pop it into chat, so I'm just going to... I've got a text file here, just bear with me. Unless unless Sav is pre-armed or someone is pre-armed, but it's probably quicker for me to do it myself because I do have it right here. So I'm just going to pop this into chat now. There we go. Right, so the URL is https sciencecig.wordpress.com. For those of you on in chat and watching this on catch up. But basically, when you scroll to the bottom there, there's a button there that says support MOVE. And click on that and just put your details in, just sign it up. And you can follow from here as well. There's 37 current followers. You can just pop stuff in there and things will come to your mailbox. But the key point is this. Jerry Stimson, Jacques the Huzak. My French isn't very good, so God knows what I'm supposed to say. Ricardo Palossa, Constantinos Fossilinos. There's some big names there. Okay, so it's got some decent backing behind it. So yeah, check that one out as well. Once again, the URL is sciencecig.wordpress.com. So there we are. Once again, the big names are getting things out there, and it's all good. It's all good. You know what? With 2016 just literally around the corner. Ah, I need a vape now. I've been talking too much. But still working. You know the one I made. I love it. It's grand. Alright, just going to see if there's any comments on chat there. Actually, I need to check the Twitter feed as well. I haven't done that for a while. And nothing particularly new on there yet, so I shan't worry about that. Okay. Gary Dibley's appeared in chat. For those of you who don't watch on chat, you really should watch it live. Did actually notice last night as well, I was watching Marco's show. I was watching on the YouTube live page and not in the on the VTTV site. I had the chat popped out and I had the YouTube page on one side like so. And I didn't realise before, but there is also a chat that goes on the YouTube page, and there were people chatting on it. So if you are those guys that are chatting on the YouTube page, pop over to vaportrails.tv and join in with the main guys. You'll have a bit more fun because there's only a couple of you guys on there. So the weather's only on there tonight. I don't know. I'm not looking. So, there we go. Let's wet my whistle. Get things queued up for the next one. Apologies, I'm being quite sedate tonight. I fancy having a bit more of a laid back show than normal. And it's kind of approach I'm toying with. I'm thinking maybe the midweek show for a bit more laid back, more engaging in chat and that sort of thing. More of just a little friendly get together like. But we'll see how that goes. The show is still evolving, and I'll probably make some more changes before the day's done. So not today, but you get what I mean. So yeah, that's all fun. So I need to queue up that thing there, so we'll have that in a while. Right. Yoda 1970 says, at the moment, Matt, they're only asking for medical professionals to add their support, but as vapers we can help by contacting any GPs, nurses and other health professionals by asking them to add their support. Yep, that's true enough. So yeah, get the message out there, tweet that link, that sort of thing. More people see that, the better. The fact that there's only 37 people that have signed up to the newsletter there kind of makes me think it hasn't really had much of a reach yet, but we'll see. Dave K says, I'm on YouTube chat. Well, Dave K would say that. No, if Dave K's not in Switzerland, is he? Oh, I don't know. No, he's not in Switzerland this week. I think he's at home. Oh, I don't know. Right, okay. We're going to take the first ad break now, and after that, I'm going to show you yet another DNA 40 thing. You're probably sick of them by now, but we'll see. Cinema.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
Healthy Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
Here's a thought at the moment. I keep seeing the word cape appearing in chat. And that happens to me a lot when I'm on Skype or whatever. Now that vape and vaping's in the dictionary, shouldn't people that update their spell checkers? You know, Microsoft, Apple, all you lot, sort it out. You know, it's not just cape now. There's vape and vaping. Yeah. Right, okay. Another mod. I'm going to place it here. And then I'm going to do the close yappy cam thing. Because I'm not going to show it just yet. I'm going to show it in exactly now. There we are. It's a vapour flask. And always in its nice shiny glory. A little bit scratched already. Oh, that's not great, is it? USB port there. 510 connection at the top. Screen at the top. Some nice Allen key screws there, which I've not had this apart. I dare not, to be honest. And at the bottom we have some little screwy things where the batteries go, and it says, putting it the right way up, Vapour Flask, made in USA. Proudly, I presume. Yeah. So there we are. I got this last week. Been using it for a little bit. And it is a DNA 40. Yeah, you can see there the temperature readout thing. It's not the updated board, so it doesn't go to Celsius. It's Fahrenheit only. No big deal for me, to be honest, because I'm used to the Fahrenheit, as I said last week. Yeah, and it's a magnificently machined machine mod. It is beautiful. It really is. You know, and if you're a right-hander, superb to hold as well. You just fight with each other. If you put it the other way round, using your thumb is a bit iffy. But we'll cover that a bit more in a minute. Let's go through things, shall we? You get yourself a penny, and believe me, you won't have many left after getting one of these. I'm going to cover the my first con with this device, really. Right. Let's give this an unscrew. And there we are. We've got it's a solid brass, I presume that to be brass, plug there, screw, whatever. And I have to give this a shake to get the battery out. And there's a Sony VTC4. Now this is the first problem I've got with this thing. Here's an eFest. We've all got an eFest battery, haven't we? You ain't getting that in, short of using a hammer. Okay, so there's a problem. Here's an LG HE2. You're not getting that in. What else have we got? A Seni bore. You certainly ain't going to get that in there. An X-Tar battery. Maybe, if I forced it enough. He says it's caught on the... Hang on. Alright, okay. You see where this is going, don't you? Right? Is an MNKE? No. Okay, right. So the XTC4 then. VTC4. That'll fit in there quite nicely. It is a bit snug. Focus. Hello. Right. Now, here's the next problem. A problem being, one, you're very, very limited on what batteries you can put in here. You see how much gap there is around it? Next to nothing. Where does a battery vent from, ladies and gentlemen? And I'll give you a clue. It ain't the bottom. So the problem being, if you have a battery failure, right, it's going to vent from the top. The thing is, the battery's going to get hot and start swelling. There's nowhere, you know, these vent holes are basically useless. There's no way that the battery's going to vent through the bottom here. No chance at all. I'm just going to tighten this up again. So that is my big problem with this. Big problem. I really don't like the fact that, you know, you're pretty much limited to one manufacturer of batteries, you know. And DJ Reptile is not sure I've got enough variety in my batteries. I've got more variety. You don't want to go through my batteries all night long, do you? Yeah, they might as well have stuck a LiPo in there. Says Zero Vapes. Now, the thing being, the version 1 actually had built-in battery. You couldn't change them. So, but that was a DNA 20, I think. There we go. There we are. Now, what I do like, you notice how both these, the indents where you put the coin, they both face the same way. I find that very pleasing. That is a nice bit of attention to detail. It's a shame they missed out the attention to detail about getting your batteries in there, isn't it? There we go. If they just made this a couple of millimetres thicker and just bored out the holes a bit more, they would have been onto a much better device there. Okay. Right. Anyway, so that's problem. That is my big problem with this device. Okay. Everything else, everything else is good. You've got a nice. If you've got an atomizer that will take airflow from the 510, such as for example the original Squape, yeah, fine, you're going to get airflow through it. Use a Kato tank, you're going to get airflow. So you're covered there. That is also let's get myself a pointy device. That is also spring loaded, so that's fine. Yeah, and then you've got your up and down buttons on there, so your standard DNA 40 controls all work quite nicely. So, aside from the batteries, I'm pretty happy with it so far. Let's just go back to. I'm sure you're missing my ugly mug. Right, so aside from the battery issue, yeah, happy days. And the Anna Lawless has just typed in the price of the thing in chat. She's not far wrong, actually. I think it's actually £10 less than typed. So it's 2, 4 and a 0. Expensive. And for that money, you would really want to be able to use any batteries you want in a thing, wouldn't you? That is, that is a big problem. Rob there, I'll get back to you on that fast tech comment as well. So the next thing then, I'm left-handed. If I want to use it as a trigger, it's not particularly comfortable for me. Okay, so I can use it as a thumb, and that's fine. But the way it's designed, it's really designed to put, the convex section in the palm of your hand, and the concave is where your fingers go. Okay, that's how it's designed. Let's actually keep it in shot. So it's really designed for a right-handed vapor. It's not a problem for me because I can use my right hand. But if any of you guys only have the use of your left hand or will only use your left hand, it's not going to be that comfortable for you. Okay. The next issue I've got with it, and I've just suddenly realised. Oh, here we go. It looks a bit funny with anything other than a dripper on it. Here's a K-Fun, right? Standard K-Fun light. And it screws down lovely. The 510 connection, it's really nice, okay? No problems with that at all. The top of the functionality, no problem. It's just them batteries. Looks a bit like a walkie-talkie, I think. But it performs okay. It performs like a DNA 40, yeah? You get any DNA 40 mod, it's going to behave just like this. And Gary Dibley's mentioned Fast Tech as well. So yeah, we're going more on that. So yeah, it looks a bit funny with with a full size tank on there. But if you was to put, say, a dripper on, here's a Dark Horse. Is that a leaky Dark Horse? It is a bit leaky because it's been laying on its side. Let me just wipe it down a little bit. That looks better. Okay, that looks decent now. He says, it's a new coil, Matt. Yeah, and it's the same performance I get out of any of my DNA 40 mods. So for £100 less, you could get a DNA 40 Vapor Shark. Yeah, it's for 150 quid. And honestly, I'd say you go for that. There's Hannah's up there. I don't know how much the Hannah's cost. You can do what I did last week. You can build your own for 70 quid, So there's options out there, but I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the device very much. I'd rather not have spent the money that it cost on it. But someone had to do it, I suppose. I've not seen any reviews in the UK for this device yet at all. So I think Pete Posado's done a review, but honestly, I can't remember what his review came out like. I watched it some time ago. It was I think it was the reveal of the DNA 40, wasn't it? But yeah. Now, a 22mm ATI is going to sit nicely on this. Let me just go to close-uppy cam and I'll show you what I mean, actually. There we go. Right. Okay, there it is with a dark horse on it, and it's 22mm. And you can see there's no overhang on the edges. But of course, as soon as you get anything over 22mm now, you're going to get an overhang. So that's a potential issue there for some of you guys that prefer, say, a 23mm dripper. Otherwise, well, you may not care, but that's something to keep in mind. It's the same coil. Oh, okay. Hi-Fi Sud said he would have given his right arm to be ambidextrous at one time. Yep. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's a personal niggle to me. Someone else might find that perfectly comfortable in their left hand. I don't, and I can only tell you what I think of something, can't I? So yeah, it works fine on that. If I was to put something like, say, for example, he says unscrewing this to stall and getting that out of the stand, a sub tank on it, even with the 22 to 25mm adapter. I mean, this is where it really, really borders on the ridiculous. That's not right, is it? It's just it feels top heavy. Yet bizarrely, I've got the same device on a Vapor Shark DNA 30, and that feels better. In fact, I've been using this daily, so this is the exact setup. Perfectly happy with that. Yes, this one's a new coil. Yeah, I need to crank that up a bit, but there we go. So yeah, you can fit anything you like on it, and I've not had any trouble with anything screwing down without a gap. That's not an issue at all. My recommendations then. Would I recommend anyone buys this? You know what? No. If you're that desperate for a DNA 40 device and there's nothing else available, yeah, you could. But the thing being, where's my dark horse gone? There's my dark horse. I want to vape some more. The thing being, you can get the same performance from any DNA 40 mod. I mean, granted, this has got 2 batteries in it, so you've got an excellent battery life going on there. But, I built a dual battery DNA 40 mod, didn't I, for a fraction of the price this thing costs. Or it just took some effort on my part. So, ultimately you pay your money, you make your choice. I paid my money. This wasn't sent to me for free. I bought this, and I'm happy with it. I don't regret buying it. I regret the fact that I've only got 4 batteries that will fit in this thing. I've only got 4 VTC4s, okay? And with the VTC range being as it is at the moment, possibly a bit up in the air with the availability. Who knows, you're going to get a genuine one again. This could be quite a short-lived mod for me, unless I find something else that fits in there. I've heard of the Samsung batteries actually fitting. And this is a Torchy one, which is a rewrapped Samsung. That doesn't fit in there either, okay? I'm not going to take it all apart again to show you, but trust me, it doesn't fit either. But he's rewrapped these, so, the original ones might be okay. I don't know. It's a new coil. But, yeah, if you really like the look of it, okay, and you've got the money, yeah, go ahead and buy it. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying I don't really rave about it as much. I'd rather, I've got an RDNA 40, a Vapor Shark RDNA 40 coming hopefully fairly soon, so I'll do a review on that as well. And it's basically the same as this, form factor wise, and and I can say now, I would say buy that over the Vapor Flask. I mean, it's wonderfully machined. There's no question of that. I mean, it's perfectly smooth. There's no rough edges. It's beautifully made, except that they didn't put the attention in where they really should have done, and that's my big problem with it, really, when all's said and done. Anyway, let's cover the Fastech thing. Fastech are indeed selling clones of these, the version 2, which are using clone DNA 30 boards in them. And I did actually order one a while ago, and it's actually on its way to me as we speak. And I ordered one for the sole purpose of actually swapping out and putting in a genuine DNA 40 board in there. Do excuse me a moment. Much like Gary Dibley has said in chat as well. And that's going to cost a lot less than this. The manufacturing may not be up there. I'll see when I get it. Okay. With Up 69 says, not what you would describe as 250 quid well spent there, Matt. No. I wouldn't. And, I've got to be honest with you guys, because, well, I don't see any reason not to be. Let's put it that way. So, if I don't think something's really worth it, I will say, okay? I'm not going to say just for the sake of, just saving face, that because I've spent this money on it, and therefore it's brilliant. No. It is a good device, don't get me wrong. I mean, the DNA 40 is a superb chipset. It really is excellent. The manufacturing on it is excellent, but the problems I have is chiefly with the batteries. I won't for 1 minute think that those batteries are going to fail on me, because of the nature of the board in there. The safety's way higher than you would have in a mech mod and stuff, but you can't be complacent about it. They've put the vent holes in there for a reason, but they didn't quite think it through, and that's my big problem. It's almost like a token gesture. Oh, if you don't put vent holes in, someone will complain. Well, yeah, you put vent holes in, but you've not thought through how the gas will actually get down through the vent holes. I mean, it might be the case. It might come up through the. I don't for a minute think this is airtight at the top here, so it might just blow through the top of the screen. I don't know. I'm not going to vent it and find out. And and I'm certainly not going to take the thing apart. Not the amount of money it cost me. Okay, so there we have it. So when I get my clone of one as well, I'll do a side by side before I pull it apart and have a play at putting a DNA 40 board in. But I think you guys kind of deserve to know my honest opinion on things. But by all means, if you do buy one and you have the correct batteries for it, you're not going to be disappointed with it. Okay, you're not going to go, oh, this is terrible. And if you can justify the price on it, honestly, it is a lot of money, isn't it? Anyway, it's enough of that. Let's go to the second ad break, and we'll carry on and we'll talk a bit about clones, shall we?
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapers, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
What's in this e-cig cloud? Harmless water vapour, right? Pretty much, yes. Compared to a lit cigarette, it's much safer than smoke. But it contains nicotine, and nicotine on its own isn't toxic and doesn't cause cancer. If you're worried about switching to vapour, here are some facts. No tar, no smoke, no burnt tobacco. Cooking your evening meal produces more toxins than are found in exhaled vapour. Tobacco smoke contains toxins at very high levels, and vapour does not. And that vapour contains 6,000 times less carcinogens than cigarette smoke. Electronic cigarette vapour. There's nothing to be frightened of. The only dangerous electronic cigarette is a banned one.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
Hello, we're back again. Right, I seem to chat ablaze with that review there. I think the general consensus is it ain't worth the money, but you know, that is personal opinion. If you think it's worth the money, then go ahead and buy one. I'm not going to get rid of mine anytime soon. I'm going to keep using it because I do like it. Okay. Anyway, clones. Let's have a look at this webpage first, shall we? He says, clicking on things, because there we go. Super T. I appreciate you can't see the top of the screen there. But Super T are going out of business. Super T store-wide sale. Save up to 50%. Now, some of you may not know who Super T are. Some of you may know who Super T are. Some of you, I know one person in chat at least, has a couple of Super T mods. I know that because I kind of sold him one at Vape Fest a couple of years ago. And yeah, I say I sold by proxy. I was working on a stall. Anyway, and they did make some very, very superbly engineered mods. Anyone that ever owned a Super T will always attest to how well made they were. But basically, they're going out of business. And they explain here, they are still standing manufacturing, but just not manufacturing of e-cig products. I think they make car parts or something like that. I don't know. I just found the current climate and influx of Chinese clones and the high cost of US manufacturing isn't viable anymore. Well, one, I don't really know of any Super T clones. There might be some out there, but I'm not particularly familiar with them. Anyway, I'm just going to switch back to this view. But basically, they're saying that the influx of Chinese clones is the reason for them to stop manufacturing. Well, yeah, that is a concern for a lot of guys that have been around for some years, and Super T have been around for a long time. You know, I don't know about Atmo Mixhani or whatever you call them, and you know who had the Nemesis cloned, and that's one of the most widely available clones there is now. We'll have a look at one in a minute, actually. But I think it's a bit below the belt just to purely blame the Chinese manufacturing, because let's be honest, whilst there are a lot of clones out there manufactured by the Chinese are also producing some very good original stuff. For the past few weeks, you've heard me rave and enthuse about the sub-tank. I have 3 of them. 3 sub-tanks. And I think for the 30 quid they cost, they are up there near the top of the best vape you can get in a price bracket that goes up to 120 quid, 130 quid. You know, for the top end stuff. It's in that price bracket. It's in that quality of vape for me. Okay? I'm not saying for everyone. I love them. I think they're great. the Nautilus is a very, very widely regarded atomizer, and rightly so, because it's a cheap atomizer, it vapes incredibly well, and ever since the BVC coils, it vapes even better. The same coils are now in the silo tank. And there's another atomizer that's come out recently, another tank that's come out recently that uses very similar ones. I think Joytech do it, and they're very, very similar to the Nautilus coils. I don't think they are the same. They're very similar. So, that sort of style has lent itself very well. And I've said it before, but I think that sort of style owes a great deal to the K-Fun. Whilst the Atlantis and things aren't rebuildable, but they use that same concept of the coil at the bottom, of reduced chamber into the mouthpiece, and the vacuum principle of feeding the juice. So, I think a lot of this owes its existence to the K-Fun, which again, is a very widely cloned atomizer. I'm very thirsty tonight. So, yeah, and then we got the likes of Inikin, E-Leaf, everyone's loving the iStick. But they're able to produce things in the quantity that means the prices can go down. But they're manufacturing these things, and they're proving to be very popular. The iStick, as far as I'm aware, has not been cloned. What's the point? You're looking at a 25 to 30 quid device, which performs excellently well. You look at different models of it now. What's the point of cloning one? You're not going to make it much cheaper, are you? So, So I don't think it's entirely fair to blame Chinese cloning. But, having said that, let's have a look at some examples of clones, shall we? And back to close up, you can. Here is a Nemesis clone. Okay, and it's nicely made. I only ordered this on the slow boat. It's got a serial number on it, which is obviously very fake. And I know of a few people that have actually bought a clone, not realising they're clones, gone on to the thread on UK Vapors where you can register your serial number, and had the actual manufacturer come back to them, no mate, you've got a clone. It's got some imperfections here. There they are. But this cost me probably about 15 quid, so I'm not going to worry about it. And here's a genuine one. It's got the dome tank on it. I'm just going to take that off because I don't want it spinning everywhere, simply because it's a Genesis Atty, and we all know what they like when they start laying on their side. Let's put that somewhere out the way. There will do. So yeah, it doesn't have the top cap on it. But the thing being, and this is a one-to-one clone, so I can get the clone top cap. And that will screw on there with no issues whatsoever. And I've got to be honest, quality-wise, aside from the imperfections there on the clone, but the manufacturing-wise, the threads and everything else, I'm hard-pushed to find any fault with it. And you can see why some people will buy these things and not be aware that they're a knockoff. Okay, so and this genuine one I ordered. That was my Christmas present to myself last year. This genuine Nemesis and the dome. And I'll tell you what, that wasn't a cheap combination. That was a good couple of £100. That was. But I like it, and I had the clone first, and I bought a genuine. There we go. Some people will, some people won't. Okay, now this is where things get a bit bizarre. This is, I don't have an original one of this, but this is a clone of the Vicious Ant Valkyrie. Okay, and it's a hybrid dripping atomizer. So there is a dripper on here. I'll just pop this cap off. Excuse the state of the coils. There's a drip on there. You can't remove that. There's no 510 connection. Okay, so that is all you've got, and it's a nice device, and I really quite like the styling of it. It's it's unique in tube mod land, so that's good. But this is where it gets really, really weird. That is a clone of the Vicious Ant Valkyrie. Okay, what we just saw. That is what the genuine Vicious Ant Valkyrie, Vicious Vant Valkyrie looks like. Okay. This is also a clone of the Valkyrie. Let's just put that next to this, shall we? But things get even weirder. I mean, look at the size of that. That's difference, right? Things get even weirder. Now, we remember now, don't we? We just saw that the clone of the Valkyrie was indeed a dripping atomizer. I was going to take the top off this. What do you see there? That's right, that's a Genesis. So I'm not mucking you about, that's the top of it, alright? It gets weirder still. I'm just going to unscrew this. I'll probably mess the coil up on it, but never mind. It's all for the sake of entertainment. Okay, are we ready? Look at that. There's a full tank in there. It sits in there, and the positive end of the battery will sit on that. Isn't that just weird? When I got this, I nearly sent it back simply because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But then I thought, you know what? I've got juice all over my fingers. Do excuse me a moment. I thought, you know what? That's so bizarre, I'm keeping hold of it. So, yeah, there it is. So, once again, you can unscrew this. I'm being careful because, you know, it's a Genesis. And there you go. Look at that. So, let's pop that in there. Put the top cap on. I'm not going to bother to line it up properly because I'm not vaping it. And I'll just put that against the one-to-one clone of the Valkyrie. It's a world of difference, isn't it? It really is. So, yeah. That's the other side of clones. Sometimes you don't get what you expect to get. It's a weird old world, isn't it? Do excuse me, I'm just putting things in the way because everything on my desk has a tendency to fly off. Oh. There we go. I do have some other clones as well, but I'm not going to spend all night going through that. I might do a show one day, just go through everything I've got here because I've got a lot of stuff, and I'm sure some of you guys might be interested in seeing what I do have. Not a lot of it gets a lot of use anymore, I've got to be honest. Yeah. Oh my lord, is that the time already? It's 9:52. Oh, that flew by. I've got to be honest. I hope I didn't send anyone to sleep. Let's have a quick look at chat because I've not been keeping up. Oh, DJ Reptile says, I love watching The Cave. Matt makes me feel good about the amount I buy. I do buy a lot of stuff, I've got to be honest. But, you know, that's my thing with vaping now. It started off as something to save money on tobacco. And during that course of the early days, I became a bit more financially flush. So, not least because I stopped smoking tobacco. But other factors happened as well. And, you know, I can afford to indulge myself a little bit. So, you know, there we are. Zero Vapes tried a Geniati once. Wicked, it was too much of a pain, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw my my Genesis episode, Zero. Go back and watch it. It was a couple of months ago now. There is a learning curve to Genesis, there really is. But once you've mastered it, there is nothing that vapes like a Genesis atomizer. Nothing. I've still got to get one working on DNA 40 in temperature control. I'm not entirely sure you can do it, but I'll crack on. I've not really done much of it with that for a while. I've been too busy just vaping with my sub tanks and things, you know. And if I'm honest, if I could only have two things left out of my entire collection back here, it would be this. It would be my mod with a sub tank on top. I'll be happy. Perfectly happy. But anyway, yeah. So Super T going out of business. I think Cloud9 is selling some of their stuff off cheap. They do sell it. So pop over to the site and grab yourself a bargain. We might be seeing some Super T stuff by the end of the week, but I shan't say anything else about that. Yeah. But if you fancy it, do get one because it is a piece of vaping history. You're not going to get them after this unless they're on the second-hand market or whatever. But I suspect some people will keep hold of them because, as I said, Super T stuff is wonderfully, wonderfully made. you know, I said how well made this device was, and it is well made. It's well machined, no question of that. It's just not well thought out. But Super T stuff again is on that sort of level of excellent machining. Anyway, so oh, you know what? I forgot to make any comments on the Swift video, didn't I? Which you would have saw in the last ad break with Andy Sutton there, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about it at the moment, but there are some plans afoot at the moment, and I think some interest might be gauged fairly soon. We shall see how that goes, but yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot of it on VTTV, and rightly so, I think, because it's a superb piece of video. It really is. Anyway, speaking of video, I'm going to give you guys the up-and-coming stuff, but before I do go, has everyone now entered Gary Dibley's raffle? Because it's coming towards the end of the month, and he did say at the end of the month he's going to draw the raffle. And if you haven't entered, you're not going to win anything. And there's some decent prizes there. And also, if you haven't raised enough money, this beard stays on. That's it. I'm not going to shave it off for less than $3,000. Alright, anyway, here comes the up-and-coming stuff, and I'll see you guys, as always, next Wednesday. Cheers, he says. I didn't cue it up, did I? Right, here we go. See you next week. Ta-da.
RY4 Radio.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.